Steve Rogers, better known as Captain America, stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, gazing at the city he had sworn to protect. It had been years since he had been revived from the ice, and though he had fought numerous battles and saved countless lives, the weight of his past still lingered. One evening, while attending a veterans benefit event in Washington, D.C., Steve noticed a familiar face in the crowd. It was an old friend from the 1940s, James "Jimmy" Stanton, who had served with him during World War II. Jimmy, now an elderly man, approached Steve with a look of desperation. "Steve, I need your help," Jimmy pleaded. "Something terrible is happening. They're back," confused and concerned. Steve listened as Jimmy explained that a secretive organization from their past, known as the Ghosts of Liberty, had resurfaced. This group had once aimed to manipulate the outcome of the war through covert operations and dark experiments. Now it seemed they were back, and their agenda was more sinister than ever. Intrigued and alarmed, Steve began to investigate the Ghosts of Liberty. Using his connections within SHI-ELD, he uncovered a series of mysterious incidents and disappearances across the country, all pointing to the organization's re-emergence. The trail led him to a hidden facility in the Appalachian Mountains. With the help of his trusted allies, including Sam Wilson, Falcon, and Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Steve infiltrated the facility. Inside, they discovered that the Ghosts of Liberty had been conducting genetic experiments to create super soldiers far more advanced than those from the past. The team encountered fierce resistance from the enhanced soldiers, who possessed incredible strength and agility. During the battle, Steve managed to capture one of the soldiers, who revealed that the organization was planning a major attack on Washington, D.C., intending to destabilize the government and create chaos. Realizing the gravity of the threat, Steve and his team raced back to Washington, D.C. to prevent the impending attack. They uncovered a complex plot involving high-ranking officials and key infrastructure targets. The Ghosts of Liberty had infiltrated various levels of the government, and their plan was already in motion. As they worked to unravel the conspiracy, Steve received a distressing message from Jimmy. He had been captured by the Ghosts of Liberty and was being held at an undisclosed location. Torn between saving his friend and stopping the attack, Steve made the difficult decision to split the team. Sam and Natasha would focus on preventing the attack, while Steve would rescue Jimmy. Steve tracked Jimmy to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Inside, he found a heavily guarded facility filled with advanced technology and weaponry. Using his combat skills and strategic mind, Steve fought his way through the guards and reached Jimmy, who was being held in a makeshift cell. Jimmy, though weakened, provided crucial information about the Ghosts of Liberty's plans. He revealed that the leader of the organization, a man known only as the Patriot, was a former scientist who had worked on the original super soldier serum. Obsessed with creating a new world order, the Patriot intended to use the enhanced soldiers to overthrow the government and seize control. Armed with this knowledge, Steve and Jimmy rejoined Sam and Natasha, who had managed to thwart the initial stages of the attack. Together, they devised a plan to confront the Patriot and dismantle the organization once and for all. The final battle took place at the Lincoln Memorial, a symbolic location chosen by the Patriot to demonstrate his twisted vision of patriotism. As the enhanced soldiers launched their assault, Steve and his team engaged in a fierce fight, using all their skills and resources to counter the superhuman threats. In the midst of the chaos, Steve faced off against the Patriot. Their battle was intense, with the Patriot showcasing his own enhanced abilities. However, Steve's experience, determination, and unwavering sense of justice ultimately gave him the upper hand. With a final decisive blow, he defeated the Patriot and secured the safety of the city. In the aftermath of the battle, the Ghosts of Liberty were dismantled, and their remaining members were apprehended. Jimmy, now free from the clutches of the organization, thanked Steve for his unwavering dedication and bravery. The city of Washington, D.C. began to heal from the attempted coup, and life slowly returned to normal. Steve, though relieved by the victory, couldn't shake the feeling that the fight was far from over. The re-emergence of the ghosts of liberty had shown him that old enemies could always return, and new threats would arise. He vowed to remain vigilant, ready to protect the values and freedoms he held dear. As he stood once again on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, Steve reflected on the challenges ahead. The world was a different place from the one he had known, but his mission remained the same. With a renewed sense of purpose, he prepared for whatever lay ahead, knowing that Captain America would always be there to defend liberty and justice. Unbeknownst to Steve, far across the globe, a shadowy figure watched the events unfold through a holographic display. The figure, cloaked in darkness, smiled wickedly. The defeat of the Patriot was just the beginning. A new threat loomed on the horizon, one that would test Captain America's resolve and strength like never before. The stage was set for an even greater conflict, one that would draw in allies and enemies from across the world. The ghosts of the past had been awakened, and the battle for the future had only just begun.